All right. Ooh, excuse me. That was rude. Glad to be back with your family. Um, I've been on the road and I've been missing you guys. I've been trying to go live mobile, but yeah, that has been a tragedy to say the least. It has definitely been an interesting time, and yeah, things just have not worked the way I needed to. But glad to be back. Panama City was great. I really enjoyed the vibe, learning more about the programs and the people and the rebuilding process that they're going through. The food there was actually seasoned fantastic. I always just found one thing that I do differently, like I had some macaroni and cheese. I need to put the video up, but it really was just a pasta, even though they called it macaroni and cheese. It wasn't macaroni and cheese. And instead of using white meat chicken, they put like chicken legs in there. So that totally threw me off a little bit. Um, Charleston was fantastic as well. I expected the food to be a little bit better, but you get what you get. So I am not complaining at all, at all. Glad to be home for the next few weeks. My next trip is in state, so I should be able to do some things, and it's only for one day. So even if I miss one, we'll just miss one episode, either a Tuesday or a Thursday instead of Tuesday and Thursday. But I did try to go live down there. We had a beautiful view. It was wild just seeing the people. Here you come, just show the talk trash, and it's funny. I just watched a video about Papa Shango. The dude who played Papa Shango, he was like five other wrestlers. I forget all the other names. I didn't realize that he had went through several characters before he landed on Papa Shango. Drinking a little tea tonight instead of I got my big water cup too, in case I get hot. But we should have a good night. We're gonna celebrate a little bit. I appreciate you. There you go. The Godfather, the Boogeyman, and it was like two more. Oh my God. I didn't even realize that. I like Papa Shango too. No doubt. He was one of those podcasts. He was sitting down talking with God dog, I can see his face. And I can't remember his name, but he lost a lot of weight. But anyway, and he brought up all his old characters. So again, we started a little bit. My light is just doing whatever it wants to do. So if you see the color over here change several times, we ain't tripping on it at all. I don't know what's going on. But we started talking about we're gonna continue the reprogramming our mind. And Lando, bro, I appreciate you as always. And low key, um, there'll probably be a bunch of head start positions over the next year. And I don't mean working in Head Start, but doing consulting and stuff like I do. There's gonna be a ton of Head Start positions. Anyway, they just put out a whole new final rule and some new standards where they updated the standards. So it's gonna be lit for the next year. So if you want to come back to the dark side, come on back. On my side, you'll love it. You would love TA, and they always got a URSEA coordinator or URSEA specialist or something. You trust me, your skill set is definitely needed. So we started doing. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Tonight we're gonna celebrate a little bit because on September 6th, it will be our 1 year. That deserves an applause. Woo! We've been doing this 1 year and we have changed so much. Whoop whoop. You dig? And the bad thing was, Liberty, I'm glad you're over here because I learned and I was trying to make this little collage video for all, just some of the stuff that we've gone throughout the year. And I found out that some of my videos ain't transferring over correctly, all that. So now I know I need to make the routine to check the videos after the show. Cause after the show, I just log out, unplug, and then go back, go eat or something like that. So 1 year on September 6th, where we first started our show. And I do kind of want to talk about that a little bit before we get started with the bowls. Because my OG is thinking about doing a podcast, and he in the process of thinking and blah blah blah. And I know we've talked about it a little bit before, but one of the funny things that they say, you ever want to see God laugh, tell him your plans. Things don't always go according to your plan. And one of the things that I've learned throughout my life, what can make your you want to pay for my assistant? God bless it. I do need one. We gonna claim it. So by the end of this year, we're gonna have an assistant. Somebody gonna believe in what we got going on and gonna have a little bit of who needs to come as a guest. Oh, my OG. Yeah, so he wants to do that. Got it. He's planning on doing that. He's working on his own thing, but we were having a conversation, and he's in that process of working the puzzle out in his head. And I was explaining to him how where he's at is appropriate place to be because for September 6th to happen, there was years of work in that prior. Because you remember, if you look for me now, I still got a SoundCloud where I was doing voice recordings. But initially, I wanted to do a podcast, so I have at least 30 interviews. No lie, when me and my ex and myself broke up in in 2016 or something like that, 17, she was telling me then don't talk about her on my podcast. But so the whole point of that is to get to September 6th where we did the show. It was a lot of foundational work, and it took years to get to a place where I was ready to present myself to the world. I glad I live in where, which is ironic. I think this will be my last year living at this location, and I plan on relocating. So who knows? I'm thinking of coming to the country. I don't know if I'm gonna head up north or cross the border and go to South Carolina. We'll see. Yo, that thing is going crazy. I'm going to stop that light because that's gonna drive me crazy when I turn that way. But anyway, all this to say, the process and the time sometimes take a little longer than you think. But that doesn't mean you're off track. It just means that you may need to adjust your plan, specifically your timeline. Because for September 6th to happen, that was 3 years of work. Mics, figuring out how to work the mic, and you still saw how much work we had to do once we got to the live. All right, so before we start our celebration, let's get ourselves in a good position, get our moods right. We are going to do the solar plexus tonight. We did it Thursday with book club, so I'm gonna catch you family up. I brought the big bowl because it is set to the frequency of your solar plexus. Yeah, we did do solar plexus. So it's a freebie. And this thing gets loud on the mic too, so forgive me. And if you like, place your hands on your stomach. When we do the visualization, that's going to be the place to put your hands on your stomach so you can start now sending that energy to that area. I always think it getting louder is a sign that we are getting in tune with it. We're vibrating at the right frequency. And life is good. And we will do like we normally do after the vibrations. We set up, we do our breathing exercise. So we're going to do the 369 exercise like we do every week. And Felicia, I see you on there. I appreciate your support. We've come a long way since meeting when I was in college, so I appreciate every time you have the opportunity to view, and I enjoy witnessing your beautiful family. So thank you, for sure, for sure. All right, so we are going to take 3 deep breaths. We're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouths. 1 for 3 seconds, 1 for 6 seconds, 1 for 9 seconds. On my count of 3, get you a breath now to start setting the tone. On my count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold it for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Breathe out. We're going to repeat that one more time with 6 seconds. In through our nose, out through our mouths, hands on our stomach. On my count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold it for 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out through your mouth. One last time. 9 seconds. On my count. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold it for 9 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Breathe out. Right, with your hands still on your stomach. I want you to close your eyes and visualize the things I am saying to you. Imagine yourself sitting in the woods in front of a big fire with friends and family you love. Picture that. Begin to smell the chlorophyll in the leaves. Feel the breeze blow across your face. Look down and touch the dirt beneath your feet. Pick a pinch up between your fingers and roll it around so you feel every grain of the earth. The fire is warm and you can feel the heat of it pressing against your face, your neck, your chest. You hear the sounds of crickets and beetles. You swat away mosquitoes. You can smell the smoke and hear the crackle of the wood as it pops under the force of the flame. You look to your left and picture someone that you love dearly. And tell them affirmations that reflect what you feel from the fire. They are warm, stable, loving, provide life. Tell them all the things that you think about them. And with that same smile, turn to your right and picture yourself sitting there. Tell yourself those same affirmations with the power that only belief can give. Tell yourself you know who you are by the warmth of the fire. Tell yourself you love yourself. Now I want you to repeat after me with these affirmations. Hands still on your stomach. I am confident. I act with courage. I am a powerful being. I am motivated, persistent, and successful. I honor myself. Now take another deep breath. And if you choose to, you can stay there in that space. Give yourself more affirmations. repeat the affirmations we said, or you can open your eyes and enjoy the show while you are at a calm, rested space. Again, I am confident. I act with courage. I am a powerful being. I am motivated, persistent, and successful. And I honor myself. All right. So, next we will be doing, I don't know, what comes after, oh my God, how did I not know? Heart. And heart needs some work. So, those are affirmations for your stomach to help you get you back in line. So, if you're dealing with gas, stomach issues, things like that, that's where some people hold their stress and nervousness. So, don't hesitate to affirm yourself when you need to. All right, so now we can get this party started, I think. Move this bowl over. It's time to switch things a little bit. Let me see where we at. Hey, so that camera doesn't look right. Hold on. What did you record? Let's see. Screen video capture. I don't want that one. There we go. So, yeah, I'm a little disappointed that I couldn't find all the videos. And there are a couple of people that you won't see that are very important to this process. So I just have to shout them out. And we're going to see how far we've come along as a family together as we've been building this show, this soul family and healing as a community. So I definitely appreciate the first people who joined my show. And I'm so disappointed that I cannot find that video. But I definitely appreciate Vina and Tanisha. I don't know if you remember them, but we had Vina in our house, and Tanisha always says the girl that came straight from the gym. I appreciate them for having the courage and seeing the vision of where I was trying to go. And I thank them for trusting me enough to allow me to, for lack of a better word, well, not in better words, allow me to connect to their energy and read their energy and trusting me enough to take what I said as valid and what we felt together as valid. Then the next person, I think, where we really don't realize is how much seeing one person can be encouraging to this. And Marlena was the next person, and I appreciate her so much because she's such a private person. To even have her on this show and to have her communicate with us for a little bit was great. And one of the
That, but
things
it
I
was pretty
want
right.
y'all to
So
hear is
I want me.
how
All right.
much we've
Well,
grown
we
as
start
far as the
with
sound
your heart.
goes. You can see here the camera's all off angle. You can't even see me. We're just trying to do stuff and get it together. You can't even see it
You
swinging. She just
got a little
normally
spin,
spin,
so that's
but
not
she can
bad.
actually
It's
see
a
it even
little
though y'all
under.
couldn't. Then what Marlena didn't really realize what she did is seeing her gave other people the courage to be able to come and be open enough to share a part of their story with the world. And this next one is one I've known since college, and I appreciate her. And she already knew. She told me before we got started that she was
all
gonna
your
bring her
brow energy points.
sunglasses,
And for the most part,
because if
it
she
is
started
your
crying,
third eye, as some people call it, or
she's
how
gonna
I
put
just
on her
refer to it
glasses.
as your
And as of
intuition.
right
You
now,
know
you
what I
can just
mean?
tell. Look how busy
So
the
reading
scene
this, I'm going to
was.
be
The
able to
lighting's
assess
all
if
off and
you
different.
are
This light from a
actually
mile away.
utilizing your intuition too
At this
much,
point, this
not
crazy.
enough. If it's
And
off, you're second
so I
guessing it.
appreciate her.
And I see y'all laughing
And
at me.
she
I
put
know
those
you heard me
glasses
back here
on.
sounding like a granddaddy. I'm
Plus,
like,
you can't
God
even
darn
hardly hear. You can't even
it.
half hear what I'm saying because of how loud
I appreciate y'all
the
trying to hang
sound
in with me.
is.
God
Even though the
bless.
folks, they I still got my plant baby
I
though.
was
She's
supposed to
cool
have
with
some
that
music I
nigga,
could
so
play, but
I
whenever I try to
appreciate
do it,
Cat
it don't.
doing this. A vulnerable, and I'm proud of all the steps she's taken since this first one. She's going off doing catering, so if you're looking for, look for her on TikTok. She got Cat's Kitchen. The food is delicious. I did a video of it, and she's taken the time to invest all the energy that she invested in other places into herself, and that's a beautiful thing.
On time.
Then
Yeah,
you
we
see
definitely get the party started.
it's
I
my
got a
friend
new
Kiki. The
pendulum too,
sound
so
is terrible.
you got a new color to pick from.
And these is one of those videos
I'm
that
not
we
going
wound up
to
watching
bore you with
together.
all the
I
details.
recorded it and
Um,
didn't do it live, but I
you get to
recorded it
pick
and we wound up
your
watching it as a
pendulum.
group. I appreciate Kiki for
I
her
got black.
vulnerability and her openness to experience this with me and allow me to be a person
I
and
got
connect to her energy like that.
purple.
And you can see the pendulum swing on there. We were talking about it. I think one thing that made it more
I
beautiful was that
got
she was
Oh,
sharing
you
her
asking me
process.
to pick?
She had
yep
readings done
blue.
before and all types of things.
Oh.
So
It's cracking. Okay,
this is
so
another
all right.
one,
Well, I'm curious
and
what made you
this is
reach
one
out.
of the unexpected ones. And I
Oh
appreciate
man,
Ivy.
so I
You
actually
can
am
see she
working
taking
in
notes and everything. So I
substance use,
appreciate the people who
so,
really
recovery.
maximize
Um, want
the
to do my own thing
connection
one day.
when we
So a
are
holistic approach to
discussing what
therapy
type
and
of
stuff.
energy has
Yeah,
connected to
that's what
them.
kind of
So I appreciate Ivy
my
for
attention. And
coming.
then I've been, see.
This was the one with Kelly. We were wilding
Matter of
for a
fact, they
minute, and
made me
Kelly
think
was one of
about
my coworkers.
possibly
You
adding another
see,
aspect to.
for when I worked
So
at
we know exactly what's
Lakewood,
happening next.
and y'all
So I
probably
could
forgot Kelly.
see
She just
that,
watch. She'll probably show
and
up tonight because I done spoke. You say her name 3 times. She gonna show up. Don't tell her I said that, family. I promise you. But you say her name 3
I
times,
keep
she
looking
definitely gonna
at
show up.
this
So the
unloved
Brotherhood,
idea.
Terrence and Jay, I
It's something
appreciate y'all.
going
I ain't
on,
give you
and
a
I
shout out
don't
at
want to
first,
say
but
it's
I
quite
definitely
unloved.
always
Like
appreciate
it's
y'all.
not
Same old, same old.
okay.
You know what I mean?
So how it
And I
feels
look
is
forward
more
to chatting with you
like
brothers
it's a
later
feeling of
this week
unlove because
or next week,
there's a
Monday,
certain
since we
dynamic in
took
love
Monday off. I
and
appreciate you
interactions
as
that
always.
you really need to function, right? And I think
And
it may
Terrence
be
OG gonna
hard
reach
to
out to you in a
necessarily
little bit.
communicate that.
Um,
So it does have
yeah, so I
it
enjoyed
does
talking with
have some
Kelly. It was a
area
great
of feeling
opportunity. One of
unloved
my
because
previous coworkers
um
also.
yeah, so I feel like part of the issue with
Still
the
tuned.
intuition is it is a conflict with your crown in the sense because they both require a lot of thinking and some of that you trying to get control with. I do feel like even though it's spinning, I would call yours underreactive, and it doesn't.
Oh
Reactive.
goodness,
Um,
my hair's
This is
not done.
don't worry about
Keisha.
that.
She's
You trust me. You done seen
always,
people look worse.
always on her. I love her. She probably be
No,
mad that I showed
I
her
done been
that
Hell
outside.
yeah,
All
them
Leonardo
first episodes,
shirt.
girl, they used to come on there looking like
She probably
anything.
mad because she was
Oh my
always on
god!
her hair. She was
Like, let me
busy.
find out.
She
I'm gonna have
got
to
her
do this like
busy,
a black
everything going
club, like
on, but I
to keep you
appreciate her
Negroes
taking
away.
time
Let me go ahead and
and
put up a dress
prioritizing
code.
her healing and her process and
Now you look
utilizing the
fine.
tools
Yeah,
that
we
she's
can't even
connected
see
to
your
and
hair
allowing
because it
me
blends in with the
to
chair.
connect to her
You got
energy
black chairs.
and being
and then
vulnerable and
my car
spaces
all
like
junky.
this.
I done had Special Olympics and
100%. She
Challenge
got me
Days. I got
smiling
all
and
this
she
equipment in
she
book.
Okay,
I
so we
got
she
can't
both
see
sabotages
everything. That
me.
look
So
cool.
one
Leave that
thing
way
you
it's
see
at,
overtime.
cause
before I
that
show
look
her the
cool.
chair in
So
person,
it's
she
like,
gonna be mad.
and
The
you have
giant
picked
bowling ball.
the
This is
yellow
one of my favorites. I
pendulum,
love Scrappy to death. I
Yes,
call
the
her
yellow
and
Scrappy
one.
from Rose froze would, because she at
So
least
before
me,
you froze,
when
I
we
asked
first
you a
went to
question. I
college,
said, "Are you
that's who
trying
she
to do some
reminded me
healing or
of,
something?"
and she's been
You got
scrappy
some.
Oh,
ever
most
since.
definitely.
I
Yeah.
appreciate Scrappy.
So I
Scrappy was
asked that
alive. It
because
was one
the
of the ones
pendulums
that I
are
think
based
that was
on
showing.
colors of my
Um,
life.
this
So
video,
purple
but
is
we just
pain,
didn't get back together. We
and
just
blue
went back and
is
moved on.
passion
I
and
appreciate Scrappy
rage,
with
and
her
yellow
being
is
vulnerable
healing.
and sharing with
And I
us
think
and
it got something to do with a little bit with
and joining
addiction,
us
but
on
I
the
don't know.
road
I'm
of
still.
healing.
So how it generally starts, I just tell everybody, I let people
It was
pick
so
whatever
funny
pendulum that
because
they want to use.
he definitely helped me
And I
realize
generally, if they're not familiar with
about
the
how
energy
important it is to
points,
ask people to have a
I'll
private
tell
space.
them
There
what the
were
energy
things he
points are.
wanted to say, and
I'm gonna read that sign on the back of the wall.
And you could see how much we're growing slowly and surely.
Say it again, bro.
The show is growing a little bit more. It's one of my Facebook family. She was fantastic.
Okay.
I ain't putting on the live people on there. I have to reach out to her as well. So I had to talk about her. It was a great experience for her. She was real familiar with sharing her energy, and I had to read her energy. And I appreciate how you process it, whatever. And go from there.
So the first thing I do is I allow
And the
people to
vulnerability
pick
she shares.
which pendulum they want me to use. I don't know if you can see the colors
great
that well,
time.
but
So I just started recording. Don't
This
feel
one
embarrassed or anything.
is
So process is I generally let somebody pick their
and one of the
pendulum
reasons
that they
it's
would
one of my
like
private sessions.
for me to use.
And
This one
one of the reasons I
is
showed her is
purple.
one, she's familiar with this process 100%. But of
This
all my
one
private
is like
sessions,
a
she's the
royal
perfect
blue.
example of how much
Okay.
those
I like the
sessions
first
are
one. You got
an
another one?
exchange of
Yep.
information.
This one
Even though I'm
is
reading your
I like
energy,
that one.
if
Yes,
there's a lesson
baby.
or something that you need to give to me, I'm here to
And this
receive that.
one is
She
black.
one of the people. She
I
is
want
the
the gold.
person
All right. It match your shirt
that
too.
showed
That's
me
how your
there's a
spirit
difference
feel today.
between me
That's
just
how
reading
Now
I'm
let
your
me
feeling.
tell
energy
you,
and me reading your energy and coaching.
so
Because
it's
she
it's
had
funny
coaching. And while I
because
was talking to her,
like
I was doing this
I
routine
took a
where I
shroom journey
always do.
in this
And I just talk
process,
to you,
and
and
part of
I
that
try to tell
shroom
you some
journey
ways
for
where
the
you
most
can
part
work
it
on
showed
it
me the
and
colors
all
of
that.
my
And she was
life,
like, hey, I don't
and
want coaching. I
and
already
I
had
in
coaching.
turn realized that
Valid.
that's probably
So
my gift.
now I
That's what I'll be
understand
able
that I
to
can
help
split
people with the most.
how I
And
service
of course,
people,
I'll work
how I
on
minister
other
to
things,
people in
but
two
the
ways.
first one was
Those who
purple.
want coaching and those who just
So I
want to
got
learn.
purple.
So I
Well,
appreciate
my first pendulum was black, but after
Randy
that,
with
when I was buying my
her
own,
vulnerability,
I
her
picked them based
authenticity,
on my what's the name in
forgiveness, and
purple.
we
It
talk
wound
about
up
a lot of things
representing
this
my
session. So I
pain.
appreciate you as always. Ooh, this is this the one?
Your energy red.
So I don't know if you
at any
remember,
point.
but this is the episode where we got our 37,000 views. We got
Oh,
rated
thanks.
by
He
some
rated me on message
streamer
off mode. Okay,
on
cool.
TikTok.
Thanks. I hope that. Well, thanks for clearing that up for me.
And somebody else had to tell me what was going on
Ah,
because we
okay.
were sitting
So
here doing
loads of
this
people.
thing
Well,
for a
thanks for
minute
clearing that up. So
and
maybe
did not get that many likes, and all of a sudden,
are you the one who did that? Because this is an interesting name. So why are
I mean, it was so
I'm about to have a whole
that I
conversation with
didn't
you.
even think it worked.
So
Now I know it works perfectly for
yeah, I don't know.
Twitch.
These
but
don't
no
seem
one
like
else.
real people, but I hope so.
If you're on Twitch and you like the
Because these
stream or
names are
something
like
like that, you get
QVQ.
the
Y'all see it
emojis
on the
across
screen?
I've been working to get it to work for everybody.
All right, well,
But
thank
this
you.
is
I'm
where
gonna
we
keep
got
on
our
jaw jacking
37,000
then if I
views.
got 370
At that
viewers
point,
right now.
370 viewers.
I
That was just
appreciate
on
y'all
Twitch.
joining.
Which
I
is
guess I
crazy.
just talked about.
That was a great night. And we took that as a sign. So we
Okay.
talking about symbols as a sign that
All
we're
right.
on the
I'll-
right path. What is
Acts
this?
of money for us to create a space
So
for
this
healing.
is one of our
and
more
safe
unique
communication.
episodes. This is when we
And generally, what I do is I put
don't
my
know
healing on Front Street,
who the person was,
and I invite others to
but they
share
asked
theirs.
some very poignant
And through
questions,
community,
and
through sharing,
actually got me to
vulnerability,
verbalize
and safe communication,
what it is we're doing,
we heal
and
ourselves
what it
and
is
each other.
I'm doing,
Great question.
and how
I'm glad you asked.
I'm even qualified to even
So a
be
lot
able
of
to
times it
help
may seem like I'm just talking and telling stories,
people heal,
but the
or
talking
learn
and
more
telling
about
stories on
themselves or
what
anything.
connects to people,
They asked some very good
what
questions.
they can
and a lot of
relate
times
to,
would have,
what's vulnerable.
triggered people. who
Sometimes
haven't
we
done
just
that
laugh,
necessarily
we
work,
tell
or wasn't
through
necessarily
auditory.
confidence in their skill.
Some people learn
One of the
through
bigger things they
touch.
talked about
Right.
is
But one
people
thing that's
copying
consistent
your
about
style.
however they
And
learn is people
getting an
need a
understanding
model,
that your
a
style
model
might
of
birth
behavior,
many seeds.
a model of an
So don't get
example
offended by
of
the seeds
the
that
direction
mimic
that
the
they want
style.
to go.
Just
Something that we
understand
talked
the
about
roots go deep,
before is
and that's what
relationships
you're
are
supposed to do,
reflective.
right? This is the episode where we talk
And in
about
this
alchemy,
case,
because how we see this energy
the
mixing is
mixing
a sort
and
of
movement
alchemy
of
of energy.
energy helps me to create
Mixing old
space
energy, new
for people to
energy,
have
positive energy,
new
negative energy to
new
create
experiences,
a fully
and things of that
healed
nature to come into their
or
life.
a fully
So the
emotionally
next
stable
thing I kind of want to talk about is
individual, right?
the mind fuck of
I just put this one down because I
And
feel
that
like
is okay.
as I
And
talked
ever since
on
I
this one,
stepped
this is
into
one of the
leadership up
videos
to
where you can first
Monday,
see
I'm talking about
me getting
yesterday,
comfortable with this
I
process.
have
This is
been
probably a December
responsible
video.
for hundreds to
And
thousands of people.
we had been going
lives.
live for a little
The
bit
decisions that
now.
I
So I
make
was a lot more
or
comfortable
don't make
with
can
the
affect
process. But you
people
see
for years.
how the sound and everything. This is one of the bigger
That
ones where we worked
behavior
on the Clifton Strength
Maybe work on
Finders.
your rank order based
And
on your responses to the assessment.
again, that
Use this
is a
report
test
to make
I
the
would
most
suggest
of your
if you
strongest
have the
position.
opportunity, do take the
Clifton
test.
strength
It
themes.
spins this
Navigate the
idea
rest and
of
maximize
weaknesses
your
and strengths,
potential.
where
So
you
when they
get
say
more
your Clifton strength themes, for the most
in
part, is your top
return
5, and then
by
the other
building on
ones
your strengths
are a
than you
part of
do
you
by
too.
building on your
But
weaknesses,
your top
which is
5 are the
contrary to
main
what
ones
we've
that
been
you
living now. We
use
feel like you keep working on your weaknesses and
regularly.
they'll be strong.
And
Not
this
necessarily
is
so.
mine, but for
It
the
may
most part,
continue to be
these
your weakness.
are
You just got a little better at
the
it. But you get more
but
return
these
on
are
investment
excuse me for all that, bro.
if you invest in your strengths, right?
The
and pick something I thought
This
would match
is
me a
more
little bit.
talking
And like I
about
mentioned in the
relationships.
last live, he
And
took
what you
an
can do
approach
to help
where it was like a
create
12-step
and
program. You know
grow.
what I mean? Like I
And
was
do you
joking
feel
about
like
it,
we're
but it was like he was trying to help me get off.
creating and growing? Now, this
funny
one is probably
because that concept
one of the wilder
really
episodes.
traumatized and scared girls. They would not come. Like I just don't
Because
even want
this
anybody to
is
see
the
me.
episode where
They
we
might
got
think I'm
so
a
far
brown
off
bunny.
track.
And it was
I
so
wound up
wild.
telling
The
y'all
only
the
time we
story
got
about
somebody to
how
come
when our mom,
was
I
my
went out
best
there on
friend
that stage
came.
and embarrassed my family in
And
that
it
purple
was her
thong.
and all of her friends. So it was like 30 girls. So ain't no way. They came over there looking like a gang. So ain't no way they about to be called brown bunnies. So we also have
That
and
was
get
a
the
great story.
skirting
I'm
and
sorry. I just kidding myself. I was talking
You
about
couldn't
brown
tell us we
bunnies
wasn't sexy back
where
then. All
we was in a
you
certain state
smell is baby oil and
and
water.
girls would not come. We didn't have co-ed at that point. We ain't had AC.
Dudes just back there looking greasy and
It was
shiny.
crazy.
Ain't a muscle. Girl, no, I didn't steal the robe. That's the good thing. I asked
They
her.
told
I was
every
like,
freshman
yo,
girl that if you go to Brown, you're gonna
can
be
I
seen
borrow
with
your
brown
robe?
bunnies.
And she was like,
So we went from the
okay.
brown bunnies
The robe part
to
is
me modeling
somebody
and wearing
would question their sexuality.
that purple thong.
But the reason why I think
It was a
everybody
great
is
joke.
clapping and screaming at this.
This one is the show. This was
Oh,
our
yeah.
last. No, it's not the last of our
We
old
talked
set.
about what did
This was the first of our new set.
want to put the energy
And
and
look,
spirit.
I'm all up on the camera. Still trying to figure
You
it
got to do
out.
some more creative activity.
It does look a lot better.
It says
And you
embrace.
can even see as we're doing the new one, we're growing right before
You know what I mean?
our
And
eyes.
if
The lighting is
anything, I
better, the
really was
angles
doing
really
in,
better. It's different from
and it's
here,
funny
from
because
what
if
we're
you would
watching to what
do
we're looking at
and you
live
do some
right now.
time
So
to really dig into some
all
of
of
these
that to say
moments
is
that
I
we've
appreciate
had
you
with women,
family. And just to put in perspective how far we've come along from bad sounds to it sounding like we talking in a tin can to a mic that actually works consistently as long as I remember to cut it on, which is crazy. Lighting, we started from a folding table to an actual desk. And I really do think that all of this is evident of the work that we have put in, because without you all, none of this would be possible, right? So now we going to hey Sherry. Yeah, I forgot that my TV was up so loud because I was listening to music and then trying to set up the videos. See, I ain't got Sherry. Sherry deserves a shout out. I didn't have Sherry on there. And Sherry, I appreciate you as always. Sherry is a very private person as well. So it was a big step for her to allow me to read her energy live. And Liberty, I appreciate you too. You like our #1 fan. Next to Sherry, because Sherry did get what's that top fan and nobody else has gotten it. Literally no one else has gotten it. And I tried to turn that thing on and I thought it wasn't working either. But yeah, when I got that notification that Sherry got top fan, I know it worked. So yeah, and Sherry, since y'all both on here, Liberty said she was upset with you. She was mad that you got it and she didn't. All right. So Sherry and Liberty, I appreciate you. I got Pretty Black Girl in the last video. Michelle, I appreciate you. You normally on here watching. Hope I know you don't watch anymore, but I appreciate you when you did watch. And all my other people, man, I'm thankful for the energy you invest into this. You know what I mean? Because energy is currency. Time is currency. And you can be doing a lot of different things. But here we are together, right? So we're going to get back on to symbols. And I'm going to use a little bit of both my books, my notebook and my tablet, because I have notes in there. And there's specific things that I do want to make sure that I address as we talk about symbols. And one of the more interesting symbols that I've worked with lately has been parables. And last week I told you all the parable of the bird that flew south. And to remind you, it was, you know how birds supposed to fly south for, well, not all birds, but the birds that do fly south for the winter. They have their yearly migration, and this one bird was late. He didn't go until it started snowing. And as it's snowing and he's of course Love Bug gets the top fan. Of course. Look, Sherry almost Sherry earned that. You hear me? Because people were, Lord have mercy. She had problems about that. She my stalker was gonna get her. For real, for real. I won't say that name 3 times because she might sew up too. So I spoke about the parable where the bird didn't fly south, and when he decided to fly south, the snow got too heavy for his wings, and he crashed into the open field and got covered by the snow. And then a cow came through and took a dump, defecated right where the bird was, and the warmth melted the snow, and the bird felt revitalized and started chirping again. And then a cat came through and snatched the bird right up out of it and ate him. Which the moral of the story of that parable was, everybody that craps on you ain't your enemy, and everybody that gets you out that crap ain't your friend. Which is a very good parable. But one that relates more to our healing is the one that I recently learned about. There was a time period where they believe that deer hunt and ate snakes. And it's funny because I looked it up. There was a video that went viral not too long ago about a deer eating a snake. And there is a lot of history of deers eating a snake, which is very contrary to the teachings, because we're taught that deers are herbivores. But in this parable, deer would use their noses to blow in the whole, not even a parable, just a story for you to get enlightenment from. So deer would breathe into the snake's hole. And when the snake hole would come out, when the snake would come out, the deer would eat the snake. Let me see, where's that at? And the snake could be poisonous, and it didn't matter, because all of that poison would do was create a deep yearning and thirst for water, because water is symbolic of healing. And honestly, that is where we are currently. We are the deer, and we have been ingesting poisonous ideas, poisonous rhythms, poisonous suggestions, poisonous experiences that has created an undenying thirst inside of us that only water can heal. That only water can satisfy that desire. We've known that we're full of misinterpretations, missed ideas, missed opportunities, missed everything. And now we're fervently fired because we want to do something else. And that something else is heal ourselves. And that starts with us recognizing the tools that we have. And one other thing that is a major symbol that we see, and we talked about it a little bit last week while we were live, is the number 7. So we know the number 7 is symbolic for the number of God. If you never heard that before, you can go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 3. And in those 7 days, 7 is symbolic for the visible world that was created in 7 days. Now, the thing about this is, those 7 days connect to us as the energy that we are binded by. And it is a constant reminder that with earnest work, with earnest dedication, with belief, with love, with our own hands, we can create the beautiful world that we want. And the most important part of those 7 days is he rested one day. So there's a place for you to take time and enjoy the fruits of your labor. It is biblically written. But after that day of rest, you continue the process. Right? one of the more important things, and there's several things I want to read specifically from, is names. Names. The name you were given is symbolic of the church. You can go through Hebrews 6:4. You can go through Timothy. Names are symbols of the church and show your direct connection to the universal energy, to your ancestors, to the God that resides inside of you. For example, a name as simple as Susanna, which everyone has met a Susanna, and we take that name for a grain of salt, but it actually means their praise. Or a name like Daniel, and I'll never forget, I worked with a Daniel. I love Daniel to death. Daniel is the kid that I talked about, where every time I drove that bus, when I told y'all the story where I destroyed that bus, I ripped off the roof and everything, driving to that parking garage. But every time we were getting in, almost got into an accident. And it would always be with a woman. And one day, Daniel said, "Women drivers," and drove my co-teacher crazy. But the name Daniel means judgment of God. Right? My name, Anthony, I looked it up a long time ago because I was curious. I was always intrigued about the definitions of names, and come to find out, my name means priceless, which to my mom, I was her last, and to my father, I'm his only son. So in my family, there's a certain level of pricelessness to me. And my middle name means of Moorish descent. Now, I don't think sometimes when we're given these names, the people that are given the task of naming us are always aware of the direct connection that these names are given them. I think it's the spiritual connection. I think it's an energetic connection that attracts them to these names for their children. Something specifically I want to read to you and discuss is, remember, you are the church. So when therefore the joy of the souls of the church, that's us, who are pleasing to God, that is the lily, the sweet smelling flower, the spiritual aroma, the daughter who learned from her parents to act according to the tradition of the prophets, unites with the spiritual spouse of the church, the one who prepares for the faithful the goods of the world to come, announcing the kingdom and making them participants of the Holy Spirit. Now, what does that mean? That means what we stated earlier. You take time to embrace and find joy in what is happening with you now. Smell the flowers, enjoy the food, appreciate the people who have learned the traditions of the elders, right? And when we combine our energy with these energies, us together create the universal energy. So without us combining ourselves, without us not recognizing our names, we cannot see that direct connection. But once we do learn who we are, the name of the church, and we connect with other churches, we create the spirit that people are looking for. All right. Oh, we're almost down to an hour. Boop, 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 boop. I do want to talk about the work of artisans, because it is simply the work that we are doing. And we might wrap up after that. What is So essentially, we think of resumes tremendously as sort of like our timeline of our career experiences. Yeah, nah, I promise you. That's Solomon with many women. We'll talk about that later. So, the work that you do, the spiritual work, the work that you do with people, the work that you do out here in this world are your artistic craft. And I promise you, there's a specific part that I want to read to you. There we go. So I can make sure we get it correctly and we discuss what that means. And yeah, we'll wrap up after you understand the work that you are to do. So for us, the best way to explain it will be through various activities. They worthily exercise the degrees of their ministry, adapting their doctrine according to the condition of their hearers. That is essentially saying how you reach the people, the path you choose to connect with the other people is your ministry. So for us, using social media, this internet, this show is one of the ministries. Me having a conversation, us sharing with each other, people being vulnerable, that is our art. That is what we are creating, a space for that to happen. That is our ministry, administering directly to the people and each other, right? More importantly, adapting to those who are listening, changing for your audience. This is why we don't trust people who do not adjust for those who need to hear. Those people who say, I just give the truth directly, are questionable. Because what is more important to them, getting it out or making sure it's heard, right? So our ministry must be adjusted to be received by those who need it most, which is funny. I saw a post where they were talking about a pastor at the strip club. And they were talking about how he didn't need to be there. And I said that sometimes we hold these people to such high positions that they can't even do the work that they are supposed to do. We are supposed to be in the places where the people need us most. We're not supposed to sit in some building and wait for them to find us. We go out. This is why I say, as much as I want to spend time in the light, every time I go out in the night, I get the opportunity to save a soul. Because in those areas, you are the light. The wise, in fact, must be admonished in a way different from the ignorant. The strong, different from the weak. The young, different from the old. And men, different from women. We have to accept these things because these things are different. They have different perspectives, different experiences. And whenever you are trying to connect with people, you have to connect with them on a level that they can also receive. And that includes when you're trying to connect with yourself. You may need to get down in a place that you thought you didn't exist, but you do, to get to the core of the healing and to be able to hear what needs to be heard. And by doing this, you will engrave the seals of the new person in human hearts, producing the weapons of virtue by ministry of their tongue. The things that we say in these places, the things that we say to each other is the ministry, the words, and the affirmations, the positivity, the belief, the faith that we give to each other engraves on us and becomes part of the new us. This is why we have to be mindful of what we feed ourselves, and not just food, but what we feed ourselves spiritually, what we feed ourselves emotionally, and what we feed ourselves cognitively, because it ingrains on who you are as a person. So be mindful of the work you do. Be mindful to honor yourself. Be mindful to adjust the message so that many can hear you, specifically those who need the healing. All right. And we will pick up next week. I appreciate you, Mike. Hey, speaking of, I'm about to say something to you, cuz let me answer this thing before brings a point from an earlier show about being careful with words and what we call ourselves, even in jest. Definitely so, because where we had to be mindful on how we speak to ourselves. As a joke, how I used to say, I'm crazy, but I ain't crazy. I'm humorous. I got great comedic talent. Or you can't even talk about yourself in ways like that because it imprints on your soul. And whether you are consciously aware or you will always be subconsciously aware, your behaviors, thoughts, and patterns will mimic what you tell yourself. Bro, I talked about you one day on the show because you probably the first person that ever called me flashy, and I was confused. And one day it hit me. It probably didn't hit me till I got to Milwaukee, bro. I don't know if you remember when I was staying in North Charlotte, but Plaza Woodwood, part of North Charlotte. And you came through it. I had that open closet, and you seen all the colors. And you was like, bro, you always been flashy. And I looked at you like, flashy? I ain't flashy. I'm not flashy at all. I don't wear no big gaudy I'm not flashy in the sense, no, but I'm not that kind of flashy. But then when my best friend came to visit me in Milwaukee, she was like, oh my God, you have so many great colors. Oh, that's what he meant. I am flashy. I've been wearing a lot of colors. So I appreciate you pointing that out. Gave me perspective because I accept I'm flashy and I appreciate. I appreciate that, bro. I was thinking about you too because I ain't forget about the party. Me and my man gonna try to have a party for our birthday. I ain't forget. You know what I mean? Because I'm still thinking about that. I want to try to do a soul family dinner first, and I need to start working on. Bro. Now you know it. Hey, listen. Now you know you stay clean too. So you stay clean. So game recognized game. It's that, hey, bro, when I went to college, they hated Charlotte boys. They were like, ooh, you Charlotte boys, because we all was like this. And when you in Charlotte, we could see the difference between each other. But the people out of town, well, they don't see the difference at all. They're like, we all just flashy, which is somewhat the case, but not totally. We just like fashion. Then we be G'd up. You dig? So I appreciate your family. We celebrating 1 year again on the 6th of September. It's been a long journey. As you see, we've came a long way, and I look forward to what we have in store for the next year. I told you that light keep going crazy, keep changing. And we will pick back up on symbols next Tuesday and continue with how do we exhibit that we recognize that we are a symbol of healing. Remember, the thirst for change that we feel is normal. It's the byproduct of ingesting so much poison, right? We have the number 7 that reminds us and how much can created in 7 days reminds us to take time, assess, and enjoy what we have created, and a reminder that we must continue to create that change. Our names are our direct connection. And it is the name of our church, because your physical form is the temple. And your name is the name of the church. So welcome to the Church of Anthony. You dig? Come as you are, but wipe your feet off. Yeah, right. And to remember the work that we do. The most important thing is to be able to share the information and share the healing and the learning. And that may require adjustment of us. That we can't be so tied to one way of doing things and the only way of doing things that we can't adjust to reach who needs to have or who needs to hear the message the most, right? So, Church of Faith. See, that's a good name right there. And it's wild because for the longest, everybody thought your name was Liberty, but now you're telling everybody your business, so your faith. I appreciate your family. I'm going to finish my tea. I will see you Thursday, where we continue reading Before I Let Go. It's getting pretty good right now, and we're working towards the end. And once we wrap that up, reminder, we're going to go back to, well, we're not going to go back to, but we will start The Alchemist. And I look forward to reading The Alchemist. All right. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your vulnerability, your vulnerability. Yeah, we're going to read The Alchemist as soon as we can finish Before I Let Go. But I'm assuming we're almost done. But every time I assume that, we were having like 200 pages left. But I think we might be about 50 pages for real. They done broke up with everybody. They about to start having intimacy regularly. Oh, no, yeah. No, we reading The Alchemist next. I'm telling everybody because everybody's so excited. And that's the Marlena one. Marlena really wanted us to read that one, and we read another love story. So, Marlena's part of us, so we got to make sure we take care of her too. You know what I mean? But I appreciate your family. See you Tuesday. Enjoy the rest. See you Thursday, or I'll see you Tuesday. Have a fantastic week.